The number one thing I don't agree with Dave Ramsey on is the whole credit situation. He thinks you don't need to have credit cards, credit is not important, you can do everything by underwriting, and I think that's total BS. So I'm going to show you why having good credit is important and what your credit is made up of. Your credit number can be anywhere between 300 and 850. Anything above 740 is great, so please don't try to chase that 850 number. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're above 740, you're fine. Now let's imagine there's two people and they both want to buy the same car. It's $20,000. One person has 580 as their credit score and the other person has 750. This person will probably get something like a 14% interest rate and the other person will probably get something like 5. And by the end of the whole thing, one person will pay significantly more, and that is the person with the lower credit score. And I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, well, don't buy a $20,000 car if you don't have the money. Well, okay, substitute the car with a house. Can you buy a $300,000 house outright? There's a million and one tips and tricks videos online of people telling you if you do this one thing, your credit score will increase by 150 points. Honestly, it's all BS. All you have to do is look at the wheel. 35% is made up of your payment history. That means that every single time you've paid on time. This doesn't mean you have to pay your entire bill. This just means you've paid your minimum payment. Now, is that good for you? Probably not. Is it good for the creditor? Yes. 30% is amount owed. You want to make sure you're using less than 30% of the credit that's been given to you. Let's imagine you have two credit cards and both credit cards give you $5,000 limits. Now you have a $10,000 limit. You want to make sure you're using less than $3,000 of that every single time. 15% is credit history length, and this is something that you really don't have a lot of control of. It just means how long have you had credit. Of course, the older you get, the longer your credit length will be. 10% is credit mix, and this means you have credit cards, auto loan, mortgage. Of course, the bigger the mix, the better, because creditors want to see that you're responsible with different types of credit, but I wouldn't focus on this too much if you're just starting out. And finally, new credit is 10%. How often are you applying for new credit? Of course, they've given you some money, so you need to be using it and not just constantly applying for new things. And that's it. This is the only thing that really impacts your credit score. If you make your payments on time, if you make sure you're not using all of the money that they've given you, and if you just have credit for a long period of time, you should be okay. I personally use my FICO to track my score, and they are the most reputable, like the most creditors use them. But you can also go to annualcreditreport.com and get your credit report once a year from all 3 credit bureaus for free. So technically that's 3 times per year, just so you make sure you check it out, nothing weird is on it, monitor your stuff. It's your stuff. Be proactive and be on top of it.